Welcome back to the Weebs Closet, guys. We are here with the finale of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. And, yeah. So, if you know, you know. I've been reading the manga like a mad lad ever since, I don't know, ever since we finished part 2. We started the first few episodes of part 3. When we watched JoJo's, it's kind of like we watch like 4 or 5 episodes and then we take like a whole month break and then we watch another 4 or 5 episodes. And so waiting for the show, especially Stardust Crusaders, like it's 40 something episodes. I wasn't having it. I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to read. And I honestly, like, I can't think of another show besides maybe Attack on Titan that I have started on this channel that I enjoy as much as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is crazy because I'm like reminiscing about like part 1, watching part 1. We've never dropped a show, by the way. We've dropped shows, but if we drop a show, it's because like scheduling stuff that we can't get figured out, and so it's like, whatever. Platinum End, we dropped Platinum End because it just didn't produce the results that it needed to stay on the channel, and so we were like, we can use our energy for something else. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood was legit the first show. We were like 5 episodes in, and I was contemplating. I was like, Nekko, I don't think I can make it through this shit, dude. Like, it's not good. And it's crazy because do I love part 1? I really appreciate part 1. I've probably rewatched it a couple times now, just showing it to other people, and I always have to preface that it is just, you know, you guys know. I don't have to explain it to you. You know what part 1 is. But as you can tell, I kind of love it now. I have the manga over here, and I wanted to point out, stick around to the end of the video because I will be ranking every single JoJo or Joestar up to this point. Obviously not 7 or 8. I haven't read 7 or 8, and also I haven't finished part 6. This is a blind react to the finale. I did actually watch the last few episodes just to get like acclimated with the anime because I didn't want to like watch this episode first and be like, oh my god, the voice acting's so much different than I thought it would be, or you know, whatever. We're going to watch it. I'm going to review it. I do have some views on Stone Ocean. Some of you will agree with them, I'm sure. Some of you will disagree with them. I have a lot to say because I don't know. I've become a huge fan of JoJo, but they're like, I think the one reason I really want to get to Steel Ball Run is because I've heard it is just it changes the game. It is absolutely amazing, and unfortunately, I do know a little bit about it. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this episode, but I think I know enough about what's going on here and what's happening in Steel Ball Run to say that I don't know if our characters are going to make it out of this. I literally have no idea what's going to happen. I just know that Steel Ball Run takes place in the 1880s or 60s or whatever around the Civil War, and so why would we be jumping back, you know, back in time? Crazy shit. I'm going to rank the JoJo's after this episode. I'm going to talk about Stone Ocean and my thoughts on it, so please stick around. But, guys, let's freaking get into it, okay? I have a lot to say, but I can't say it all in this video because I just want to watch the episode, all right? Follow us on Twitter and Twitch and check out our Patreon. This video is going to go up, like, relatively soon after I upload it to Patreon, but usually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a 1-week early access thing in our Patreon. So be sure to check it out.
From the moment you join our Patreon, you get access to the uncuts of all the different shows that we've done, as well as access to our Discord where you get to chat with us or amongst yourselves about any games, shows, or movies. If you choose to jump into our Weeb Titan tier, you'll have access to our time-exclusive shows. These shows will either be ahead or unavailable to watch in our YouTube. Attack on Titan used to be there, Jujutsu Kaisen just finished, Mob Psycho is starting, and Invincible has been over there for over a year. And for the Full Metal Weebs, not only do you get shown off here, but you get 1 week early access to the shows currently on the screen, as well as staying ahead into our bi-weekly podcast, and you also get to vote and watch our monthly Anka movie. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and let's start the video.
All right, guys, the finale to Stone Ocean. Let's start it up in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, like, why the frick is he back here? Oh, okay, so this is the beginning of Stone Ocean. What the fuck? Why do they look so weird? Emporio looked kind of weird too, his hair did at least. I guess we haven't really seen his hair. I just realized that. This is like a fucking alternate reality or some shit. Okay. So it is the same day, I believe. He looks the same. But oh. Oh. Obviously, I think he's unaffected. What the fuck? Are you saying that we're just bound to repeat the same life over and over again? What the fuck? So how did he? This is a great intro, by the way. I think visually, maybe top 3. I love this intro. Are they doing the sound effects on this one? I can't tell. I don't think so. Hopefully they do something like in part 3 or part 5. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, shit. Wait, he was in... That's the mansion, right? That's what it looked like. Oh, my gosh. Where the fuck are these guys when you need them, by the way? Oh. That punch looks so similar to Jonathan's in the first intro. Oh, that was so good. Where the fuck is Giorno when you need him, dude? We could really use that guy right now. I love Poochie's theme, by the way. It's amazing. It's the same, but different.
Same, but different. But still same.
So they're just in a new world, like a new reality. I guess that's, you know, the title kind of implies that. Was it deja vu? I'm getting all existential, guys. I don't know about you. Yeah, so it's... Holy shit, they went so fast that they skipped like billions and trillions of years and just started again. I guess we know all the answers, guys. Well, not all the answers, but some of them. It really is Muda, because you're just gonna be born again, right? Damn. I can't say I agree with Poochie, but he definitely has an interesting way of looking at things. Oh, damn. There's a lot of moderately sized cracks in this prison, I gotta say. Come on, Emporio. Damn, we're halfway through this episode already? What the fuck? Yeah, what'd she mean by that? What the? Oh, wait. What the fuck? No way. Oh my god, wow. So there is a small chance. Oh, we're still... Wait, oh, he's doing it again. Bro, you're gonna fuck everything up, dude. I mean, you already have, but like, holy shit, dude. Whoa. Oh, God. Is it taking a toll on them? I like that they call it weather report in the dub or in the Japanese, but the subtitle says weather forecast. Classic localization of Jojo. Yeah, so yeah. The more you accelerate, the quicker it's gonna be. Bro, so is everybody dead? Like, do we... I assume he can't undo this. Ooh. It's not how it works for everyone, though. If I knew I was gonna die in a car crash tomorrow, I'd be pissed. Facts. It's the winging it aspect of life that makes life, I guess, if that makes sense. We're getting like philosophical as fuck in this episode. Holy shit, dude. Wait. What the fuck? What the fuck? Are we going back now? Okay. Okay. What? Damn, they all got different drip and shit. What? Is it over? Oh shit. Oh shit, the hair. Irene. What is happening? Huh. Bro, they're playing fucking roundabout. No way. That's, yeah, okay, that's him. Dude, you cannot do this, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. And we got a, like, kind of a new credits thing, I assume. Oh my god, it's all that's Danny and Jonathan. I think I've seen these, actually, on Twitter. Okay, yeah, that's Caesar, Joseph, and Lisa out on the boat. Part 4. AKA maybe the best part. Come on, give us an after credit scene, please. Please. No! Wait, next episode. Why does it... What? Next episode of what? Oh my god, there's nothing else. I don't know how to feel. Because low-key, I heard that the finale to Stone Ocean was like the most batshit crazy thing ever, and it kind of was. I think my expectations were just way too high. Not that I disliked it or anything, but I was low-key expecting like an endgame moment where like the other JoJos came in, especially after that intro. I was like, okay, are they coming in? But like legit, the characters like died, and now they're like, I guess it's kind of like what Poochie said, where they're alive again in like another universe or an alternate reality. I assume what we're on right now is the Steel Ball Run timeline, maybe? I have no idea. I feel like I'm missing something, maybe. I don't know. Were you guys confused as I was when you first read this? I don't know. That was a crazy ending. All right, but full thoughts on Stone Ocean. Gotta say, best first few, like, not few chapters, honestly, like the first quarter of Stone Ocean was the strongest start to any part, in my opinion. Right off the bat, it legit feels like the end of most parts, where it's like super freaking exciting, and Jotaro like legit almost dies, or he technically is dead towards the beginning of part 6. It was so weird because I went into part 6 knowing that it wasn't the favorite. Most people actually consider it to be sort of a part of the lower 3. You got, of course, part 1, and then a lot of people would say like part 3 or part 6, at least from what I've heard. And I was like, no way, like this shit's amazing. But I kind of get like in the middle and almost all the way up to the end, it kind of does feel not super repetitive, but maybe I'm just a little bit fatigued on Jojo. I got that Jojo fatigue, because Stone Ocean starts out extremely story heavy. We got the storyline with Romeo, how he completely fucked over Jolene, and now she's in the prison. We're meeting all these new characters, and Jotaro has this thing going on, and he gave her the little stand arrow so she could get a stand, and he's trying to break her out of prison because something's going on, and he's after somebody, and there's so much going on, and then we completely stop all these things going on just to find out who Poochie is and what he's all about, and there's all these stand fighters also in the prison. And when I heard that Stone Ocean was about a prison break, it really, caught my interest, because I love Shawshank Redemption and other prison stories, and that kind of seems what this is inspired by. I know other JoJo parts are inspired by like other movies or genres. I don't know, like it just, the prison break, I mean, the prison break kind of happened like 3 separate times, and then successfully happened towards the end, I guess like 60-70% of the way through. But everything up to that, and even some little arcs after that, weren't quite as interesting or as fun as like some of the stuff in part 4. I don't want to compare it to other parts, because I don't want this to be a part review, and plus I gotta talk about the JoJos overall. And the ending, I definitely gotta sit on the ending, and I'm just glad that I got through the part, because now I get to read Steel Ball Run and maybe hopefully find out a little bit more about what happened. I'm not really expecting to, because Araki has this weird way of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has so much like continuity to it, but he also makes each part feel super standalone. And I know I'm gonna get the comments that's like, oh, Jake, you were just expecting every JoJo to pop in because, it's Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, come on, don't you know this is Jolene's story? He wanted it to be about Jolene. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, I respect that. I appreciate it, actually. But then again, the fact that this is like the end of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and now we're going into like this second saga type of thing, I guess I was expecting something bigger just by how much people were hyping up the ending. But still, like, I just want to give my honest thoughts on it. Still really good. I don't know where I would rank this part, though, because I feel this and part 3 are kind of neck and neck right now for me. Like, the second half of part 3 is so amazing, I think. So I will have to, I'm so excited to read part 7 and 8, even though I kind of want to take a break from JoJo, just focus on other things. But I'm really excited to read part 7 and 8 because I definitely know the least. I don't know anything about part 8. I'm going to be honest. Like, so that's going to be super exciting. And then when I'm done with those, I can finally rank all 8 parts together because that's something I really want to do. I want to do something special now, and I would like to rank all 6 Joestars up to this point. My list will not be reflecting my actual thoughts on the parts, which I actually really appreciate. Just because I don't love a part in JoJo doesn't, which I actually kind of love them all now that I think about it. But just because I like one part more than the other doesn't mean, you know, that character's going to be at the top, I guess. Starting at number 6, of course, as you all know, I'm going to put Jonathan. It's not because I don't like Jonathan. Obviously, I like him quite a bit. He was only in 9 episodes. So it's not like we got to know him a whole lot. And it feels kind of bad to rank him so low because I feel like Jonathan has one of the biggest impacts on the show. And I feel like a lot of people initially would disagree with that, but he kind of is the reason. I mean, he is the reason that everything happens. Even though he dies in episode 9, he's still, there's so much that happens after he dies that he kind of directly caused, like, Giorno's kind of technically his son, like 80% his son. The top 20% is Dio's son. I don't know. So I thought that was really interesting that they kind of kept Jonathan relevant throughout all 6 parts in some type of way. And I mean, we don't really get to see this in the anime, this character design, but, oh, I just now realized that this headband is kind of like his belt. But anyway, from a character design perspective, I think he might be top 3. He's kind of a goody two-shoes, kind of a little bit boring. No, but I still love the guy. I just like and love some of the characters a little bit more. And one of those characters, I would say at number 5, I would go with Jotaro. And I already know people are going to hate me for this because he's the face of the franchise. He's a lot of people's favorites. But I feel like Jotaro is kind of like he's the other side of the same coin as Jonathan. Jotaro, if Jonathan is boring goody two-shoes, Jotaro is boring edgy teenager, if that makes sense. And I'm just talking about part 3 Jotaro because, and I really love Jotaro, especially in parts 4 and part 6. I would rank him higher based on the personality that we get in those parts. But the reason that I can't is because the development we get for Jotaro is completely off screen. Like when we started part 3, like before I started reading ahead, Jotaro was such a dick, like to his mom, to everyone. And like, I don't know, like maybe I see a bit of Stardust Crusaders Jotaro in me because I definitely had like, I don't know, I'm specifically thinking of moments like with his mom where he like straight up calls his mom a bitch or like, you know, pushes her to the side or like ignores her feelings or whatever. And the argument is kind of like, oh, he's just in a rebellious teenage phase. And it's like, I feel like Joseph kind of nailed that a little bit more. We've talked about this like 1,000 times where Joseph had that like careless facade and he wore it a lot better and it was a lot more convincing. We got many comments that were saying that, you know, Jotaro develops later in part 3 or he has silent development or you'll like him later. Like, I guess is a strong word. I thought he was cooler. Like, oh, like he was like the stuff with Darby was like fucking amazing. I thought Darby was honestly like as good as Dio, if not better. Both Darbys, by the way, but especially the first one, like with the poker game that they had. I was like, holy shit, this dude just shook like the world's greatest gambler to his core just with a poker face. That's amazing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he had like great character development or anything. And yeah, like you get the moments where like you can tell that he cares, but it's covered up by like the worst personality you could ever imagine. And so there are times where honestly, I think I like Jonathan a little bit more than Jotaro. But it is the parts 4 through 6 Jotaro. I mean, especially part 4. Like when he gets in there, and he's like a staple in that part. He's like almost up there with Josuke. I fucking like, I don't know. I loved him in those, and I do want to rank him higher, and I would if his character development wasn't off screen, because he's a dick in part 3, and then part 4 he's awesome, and he's super caring, and he's super cool to be around. But yeah, at number 4, I think I'm going to go with Giorno all the way over there. And Giorno was one that when I started part 5, and even before I started part 5, funny thing, by the way, when we were reacting to the JoJo intros back in like February or the beginning of March or something like that, we were like 4 or 5 episodes into part 1, didn't know shit about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I called that Giorno was Dio's son. I don't know how I did that. I literally did it based off the fact that he's blonde, and the first 3 letters are Gio, kind of like with Dio being Dio, which is crazy because it's not so much that he's Dio, like it's not Gio like Dio, it's like Gio, like an Italian, whatever. But reading part 5, and before part 5, I love the character design. My favorite character design probably of any JoJo protagonist. Fucking love this, how the stand looked. I thought he was also like a little guy. He was like the first JoJo, I guess, besides Josuke, but Josuke is still kind of beefy. But in part 5, all the characters are so skinny, and they completely changed up the art style. And he just looked so interesting to me. Like, you know, when you see characters and you're like, damn, that's interesting. Like, I can't wait to find out like who you are, what you stand for. And started reading, and I absolutely loved Giorno at the beginning of the story. We get the most backstory on Giorno over any JoJo at the beginning of their stories, which like, and his backstory was crazy. It was like some Godfather shit. I was loving it until Araki decided that he wasn't the main character of part 5 anymore. And it's kind of like a Gohan situation where like Gohan is the best character in all of Dragon Ball until Akira Toriyama was like, actually, he's boring now. You know what I mean? So there wasn't really a lot I could do. Like I wanted to love him, but really for the first half of part 5, like once you get past those initial chapters, like once you finish that first book and you finish like, he's not really in the story much after that until like towards the end. It's like a bucciarati. I'm still working on rolling my R's, but it's a bucciarati show for sure. And I love him. He's great. Dude, it's tough. Still love him. Still main him in All-Star Battle R. But my number 3, we're doing top 3 now. And damn, this was pretty tough, and it's tough now because I just finished Stone Ocean. So Jolene's pretty fresh on my mind. I hate to do this, but at number 3, I think I'm going to go Josuke. Josuke from Diamond is Unbreakable. I love Josuke. He was honestly, I thought he was going to be tied with my number 1. I'm not going to say who it is, obviously, but he gives off such a Joseph vibe with just a slight, he is the bridge, I think, between Jotaro and Joseph. That perfect bridge. He's got that punk teen vibe that Joseph doesn't really have. Like, Joseph is just silly, and he acts like he doesn't care. He's like, oh, he kind of aloof. But Josuke is very smart, and he has that edge to him. And I think it's just because part 4 has that slice of life aspect, and Josuke just feels like he's from a slice of life anime. But he's such a good like protagonist to follow in this part. And I guess the only reason I would have put him at 3 is because I don't know if he's my favorite character in part 4. I really love Koichi. I love Yoshikage Kira. Of course, Jotaro is a lot better in that part. Dude, there's so many characters in that part that stand out. I'm trying not to make this a ranked video of all the parts, but it's hard because I love these characters so much. But Josuke, and I'm trying to be quiet about this because I don't know if Nekko's outside, listening. But Josuke really is like a new Joseph. He kind of feels like a new Joseph, and I can't wait to watch part 4 and to hear, Nekko talk about how much he likes Josuke because he kind of feels like Joseph. And I say feel without him feeling like a repeat character, I guess I should say. I love his morals, his moral compasses. It's very clear. It's very clear what his motivations are. I do have one problem, and it's at the beginning, like in the first book, they comment on his hair. Like there are so many like other stand users and bullies and whatnot that comment on Josuke's hair, and he gets so mad. And that's such a like big meme. Like they even put it in the game, All-Star Battle, and it just never happens again. Like I was expecting at the end of part 4 for Yoshikage Kira, his like last thing to be like, and your hair's fucking stupid, Josuke. And then Josuke just absolutely goes off, but that never happened. But that's not like, I like that about the character, but it just never came back. So it felt like why was it even there in the first place thing? Also, why style your hair if you're, insecure about it like that? I don't know. I also like the theory that I don't agree with this theory or buy it, but the theory that Josuke from the future saved himself back when he's talking about why he styles his hair the way he does. But no, love Josuke, great protagonist, number 3. And at number 2, I gotta go. I don't have the book with me, so that's a spoiler right there because it's not printed yet. I'm gonna go Jolene, and it's because of Mike. Mike, we were doing a waifu tier list on Tier Maker one time. It wasn't on the channel or anything. We were just fucking around online on Discord. And I was asking him, like, yo, where would you put Jolene? I haven't read part 6 yet. And he's like, you know what? She's not one of my favorite Joestars. So, B tier. And dude, when I started Stone Ocean, I could not have disagreed with him more. There were, in the first, 3 chapters, she made me laugh out loud multiple times, which I don't laugh or cry when I read manga because it's just such a casual leisure activity. It's more like anime has, voice acting, music, color, full motion video shit. So I can get much more, I guess, immersed in it and buy it a lot more. Whereas with manga, it's just relaxing to me. And, when there's a joke, I do the nose thing where I'm but the moment where they're doing a full body check and Jolene sticks out her ass just fucking killed me. I've seen a ton of the dub memes, which are absolutely great. The opening where she's talking about masturbating is absolutely hilarious. Jolene feels like a bro, but she's still super, can I say fine? I feel weird calling anime characters fine without Nekko being here. Because usually I play a character where I'm horny all the time around him. It's kind of like this joke that we have. I'm not actually. Well, maybe. Jolene, absolutely amazing. It was hard to rank her, and I think the reason I'm going to put her over Josuke is because Josuke is overshadowed in part 4 by Koichi, Okuyasu, some of the other characters. Absolutely love every character in part 4, but in part 6, I felt like, I hate to say it, it was the weakest group we've had yet, and the character I like the most besides Jolene is dead for 80% of it, and also Foo Fighters dies halfway through, which I loved Foo Fighters and I was sad to see her go, but Jojo does not have plot armor, which I really appreciate. Obviously does not have plot armor now because everyone is kind of dead that we knew, but also alive still. So yeah, I'm still waiting on that comment, so help me out there. At number 1, obviously Joseph, without a doubt. He was amazing in part 2. Part 3, people kind of give him shit. I still think he's funny. In part 3, I think that he's still great without overshadowing Jotaro, which I really appreciate. And then in part 4, he was barely in part 4. He was in part 4 a lot more than I thought he would be. Let me put it that way. When they mentioned him, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be like a cameo or something. But he had such a great role in part 4, having such small moments with Josuke. I also love that. I don't love that he cheated on Suzy Q. That kind of sucks. But I kind of thought it was hilarious that Josuke's mom, I can't remember her name, had a one-night fling with this guy, and he's an old man now. But you kind of see him as you want to punch him in the face, but he's an old man, so you can't. But you knew that he lived a devious lifestyle when he was 20 years younger. I just thought that was hilarious. I thought that was great. Joseph is the man. He is probably what made me love this show, if I'm being real. Because you had Jonathan, who I appreciate now, but Joseph felt like the protagonist. And whenever I think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think of Joseph. Even though Stardust Crusaders is the face of the franchise, even though everyone says part 4 is the best in this first saga, or part 5 is the best, or part 6 has the greatest ending, honestly, part 2 will always be my favorite. It may not always be the best to me, but it will always be my favorite because it'll be the part that got me into this series. And I was talking with Lee, who is my girlfriend, who was supposed to react to me with this, but she doesn't really like cameras. She has a camera thing. I talked about it on the podcast, but anyway, I was talking to her and I was talking about how much I love part 4 because the setting really feels like a character in that. Like, I love stories where the setting feels like a character. And when you're always going on an adventure, it's kind of hard to get immersed in the setting, I feel like, until you get to like the end of part 3, I would say. But she says it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and part 3 is an adventure where they go to so many places. And I just feel like part 2 is that as well, but condensed into something way more refined. And also, it was before, it was like kind of that quaint time whenever JoJo still had Hamon or Hamon. I don't want to mispronounce it and get flamed in the comments. And it just had, in such a short part, such an amazing stack of characters. Von Stroheim, Lisa, Caesar, Loggings, the Pillarmen, Wamu, fucking cars and shit. And it was all in like 17 episodes. And so Joseph was at the forefront of all that, and he survived it. I actually didn't think he was going to survive because I said he fucking died, and then he came back, and then he's in all of part 3. He's in some of part 4, and it kind of sucks that, like, I get we want to move the story along, but we didn't focus on him a little bit more just because to me, he's the face of the franchise, even though Jotaro is. And I just feel like we actually got development out of this guy. He even had a little character arc in part 4. He doesn't really do anything in part 4, but just the little moments he has with Josuke made me love him so much. And I don't know. Yeah, Joseph, absolutely number 1. It's been a crazy ride, and I can't believe this is the first Stone Ocean reaction and the last reaction I'll have on the Weebs Closet where you guys have seen my blind thoughts on JoJo's, because I am going straight into Steel Ball Run. I cannot wait any longer. And yeah, that will do it on this one, guys. Please let me know what your ranking is down below. Please let me know what you thought of the finale of part 6 in the comments, and help me out, because what the fuck happened? Goodbye.
Hope you guys enjoyed another Weebs Closet reaction. A special thanks to our Patreons. We appreciate your extra support to keep this channel going. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. See you in the next one.